Hi everyone, and thank you so much to Christina for talking to me today. Say
Hello.
hi.
Hi.
So for anyone outside of Manchester or anyone who might not know like what the monthly gift is, I'd love you to tell us a bit more about it and how you got started.
Okay, so the monthly gift is a campaign, so a community-based project, and it's basically trying to combat period poverty in Manchester and now beyond as well. So we've got donation box in Oklahoma in the Northern Quarter where people can donate tampons, sanitary pads, things like that, and then we send them to local charities and food banks that help people that are in need of those products. Um, it got started coming up to nearly 3 years ago now. Yeah,
It's a long time.
July 2015. Um, and it was kind of when I was at uni, one of my friends was saying, "Oh, I thought you got all of those things on the NHS," and I was like, "No, we don't get a little parcel every month. Like, have a good period, lots of love, the NHS." Like, it's
That'd be
not
amazing.
quite works like that. And he was like, "Well, what do homeless people do, or people who can't afford them then?" And I was like, I couldn't answer him, and I was like, "How have I never thought of this before? Like, I have a period every month. How has this not even like crossed my mind at all?" So it's just kind of the shock of it. I was just like, haven't I have not thought of that. And then I was like, well, a lot of people would be just kind of as blind to it as I was. And once I've kind of realised, I was thinking, well, I want to do something about this. Like, how do we try and change that and find out, how we can get these products to people who need them. Um, so it was designed to be just a week of raising awareness at first, just to try and make people have that light bulb moment. And we were donating to one charity specifically that said, yeah, we'd really like donations of sanitary products. And then it's just kind of carried on ever since.
That's amazing. I think I'm the same in that I consider myself like a feminist and I'm very interested in like women's issues and stuff, but I was shocked that it had never even crossed my mind, the question.
Yeah,
And when I like discovered the massive issue of period poverty, I was just like disgusted, but also like I can't believe I've never even thought about this, but just goes to show like how much of a taboo it is, I guess. And
yeah, that's exactly it. Like
yeah,
it is. You think to donate food or clothes because it's common. Everybody talks about food and clothes and things like that. But I think that is part of the problem. The taboo is part of the problem.
yeah.
Definitely.
One of the things I wanted to ask you about was why do you personally think that periods are still such a strong taboo? Because I feel like it's 2017, everyone is a lot more like progressive and open to like talking about issues, but periods are still a touchy subject for a lot of people.
Yeah, I'm the same. I think it's 2017. How we're nearly 18. How is this still an issue? Um, and I think part of it is kind of, you know, because it always has been. It's trying to break that taboo and change things. So, for example, I'm guilty of it as well. And I read an article a few weeks ago about when you go to the toilet at work and you shove your tampon up your sleeve,
Yeah.
and even somebody who advocates against the period taboo. I found myself doing it, and
I
I was like,
know. Or you
hypocrite,
take
get this
like
out of your
you
sleeve.
take your massive handbag or backpack to the toilet just for like one little tampon inside it, just so no
Yeah.
one sees it.
And then I'm thinking, it's so ingrained in you that you don't even realise that you're doing it. And so one of the things I really want to do with the campaign is try and break that taboo. And one of the amazing things I found with the campaign is the amount of young people that are supporting the campaign, and young people that have, charity projects at school, or even feminist projects at school at, 13, 14, and are really interested in these things. And I just think it's incredible because, you know, I was in uni when I thought of setting this up, and even then I was like, oh, I'd never thought of that. And to know that younger people of 13, 14 and younger are getting involved, I think even though at the moment the taboo is so prominent, I'm hopeful that in a few years, as kind of society gets used to the fact that we need to stop thinking periods are such a taboo issue. And even just the fact that the Body Form advert that's recently come out that shows red instead of that blue liquid stuff, and that's fantastic, but that's seen as progressive, you know, and it's like that's just normal, and like good on Body Form for finally, you know, showing normality and not some blue stuff that nobody even knows.
I know. I feel like women have been talking about the blue liquid for years.
Yeah.
And it's only just now that there's actual period blood, even though it's not real period blood, obviously, in a campaign rather than that blue liquid. And we're like, we've been telling you about that for quite a while. So I think it is changing. I think, like you say, it's amazing that young women now have, it's largely down to social media, I think, and access to like these like broader topics and issues, and being able to educate yourself from a young age. And it's also quite, I think it's quite cool now to be like in the know about things, which is amazing. It's almost, what were you going to say?
Just thinking like, because for me, talking about periods and that kind of thing is just so normal, but because of the campaign. And I think had I not got involved in the campaign and kind of, you know, had that conversation with that friend on that day, and kind of hadn't things turned out as they have done, you know, I probably would have just been so oblivious to it still, potentially. And I think, you know, I'm quite in the know about it now, but is that because I surround myself with people who are interested in the campaign, because, you know, that's how a lot of the people that talked about these things I've connected with. And so for me, it just seems like, you know, the period taboo has been smashed all around me, and it's fantastic. But then I think, is this just my little bubble that I associate myself with? So it's trying to kind of reach out of your bubble, I guess, and target in those audiences.
Yeah, definitely. So on that note, like anyone who's listened to this and has like a light bulb moment and thinks, oh my god, I'd never even considered that period poverty could be a thing, can you just tell us a bit more about like your experience and feedback so far with the campaign, in terms of, have you like spoke to the women affected by this, like how has it been received basically? Because what I want to hopefully do with this podcast is, you know, raise awareness but also inspire people to go out and reach out to their local food banks, because hopefully they can see from your experience that it makes such a huge difference to these women.
Yeah, it really does. For me, when I first set it up, I was thinking, how do I get these products to people without making them feel uncomfortable in any way, you know, without approaching them on the street when they might not have needed them that week and had to carry them around for 3 weeks, you know. So I thought the best way to do it was to go via the food banks and charities route. So usually it's distributed via them, but I have been to a drop-in centre, and it's actually a healthcare clinic that do healthcare for the homeless, and they wanted us to get involved because their nurses do outreach as well at refuges and various charities and things like that, and they wanted to kind of make it clear that people can get sanitary products from there, and also encourage them to come back and get other healthcare checks and facilities whilst accessing them. And so I went along to one of the drop-in sessions there and saw the products being handed out, and it was just, I can't explain it, it was just so, just seeing people's faces when they received them, and it was just so kind of heartwarming, and it's but frustrating at the same time, because you think that's such a basic necessity, and for that to be, you know, I'm struggling to articulate what I mean, but and the other one is, recently I've been doing a bit of research into the food banks and charities across the Manchester area and what types of products they'd like in terms of, you know, reusable products or sanitary pads, tampons, that kind of thing. And then at the bottom said, you know, I've asked them to tick whether they ordinarily give these things out, whether they give them out but they have to pay for them out of their own resources, or whether they don't give them out because they don't have them. And a lot of them tick either we only give them out when we can, when we get donations, or we pay for them ourselves. And so, you know, there's people who'll be wanting those donations but they just don't have them coming in, or if we can donate, then they can use that money and resources that they normally use on those products for the other great work that they do. And so it's hoped that, although it of course is predominantly, you know, an issue for people who menstruate, the charities, a lot of them help, you know, everybody, and so not all of the people that help menstruate. And so the hope is that it'll have a knock-on effect as well in the other areas that they do by freeing up those resources. So I'd encourage people to, you know, get in touch with the local food bank, get in touch with the local homeless charity. I've even been contacted by social housing associations, just a whole host of places that I didn't even initially think of, you know, in needing products like the medical practice that have homeless drop-ins. So kind of when I first set out, I was thinking, right, let's help homeless charities. And then you realise, oh, actually, you know, food banks need these, and refugee charities and asylum charities, and there's so many people that, you know, are struggling for these types of donations. So I'd just say, you know, check out what's in your local area and give them a call, see what they need, and if you can, donate, and if you can't, just raise awareness of the fact that they need them.
Yeah, that's amazing. And I think, like you were saying, it's such a basic thing for us. It's such a simple thing for us. I think I wrote a blog post about the monthly gift, as you would have seen, and I said in that blog post, it's like a gin and for the price of a gin and tonic, like a girl can go to school for the week because she's got a pack of tampons that her family wouldn't have been able to afford otherwise.
Yeah.
And it's such a small thing to us, but it makes a real difference, and I think that's why it's so amazing what you're doing. And I really hope that, like, anyone listening can just get involved in whatever way they can. And with that being said, obviously, if you're in the Manchester area or the Northwest, like, it'd be amazing if you could support the monthly gift. You've talked a lot about what people can do in their local area, but is there anything specific that you want to mention about the monthly gift? Any events or fundraisers or anything else you've got coming?
If people are in Manchester, definitely swing by Oklahoma where the physical donation point is. We've got an event coming up for International Women's Day, but it's still in the planning process.
Yeah. What date?
And we will
February?
March.
Yeah.
It's March.
Yeah.
8th, I think it is.
Yeah. This is going up in January, so by the time this goes up, you might have more like info on that.
Info on it, yeah. So it's still in planning stages, but we're hoping to kind of bring together all the different aspects of the campaign. So smashing the period taboo and having some artwork on that around, you know, guest speakers, that kind of thing. So it's still in the planning stages now, but keep an eye on the social media and stuff, and it'll be on there, and there'll be a lot more kind of collab things coming up. There's quite a few people talking to doing, you know, they're already organising events and where they're going to collect for us at their events and that kind of thing. So definitely keeping an eye on the social media, because there's just so many. I'll just get random messages saying, oh, we're collecting for you at this event, so, and I'll share it so often I can't even predict what's coming up. So just keeping an eye on the social media is the best way to keep in the know.
Great. And all of those links will be like plastered everywhere, the show notes, like my website and everything, so definitely go and follow. Let's just chat about periods now, because I love talking about periods, and we're both very interested in smashing the period taboo. So what are your like period must-haves and period essentials to make your period happier?
Well, I've recently been, you know, enlightened on the whole period app thing via speaking to people in the campaign, and I cannot believe I've not downloaded one until 2 months ago. It predicted to the day when my next period was, and I was like, this is fantastic, because, you know, no surprises at work or anything like that, and you can put in your mood and how you're feeling, and it picks up on so many different bits and bobs you can put in, and I was just, yeah, that is my new must-have. I use Clue app, but there's plenty kind of different ones. I've heard good things. How good, yeah. I can't believe I've never used it before. I'm feeling like I've missed out for many years.
Yeah. My contraception makes my period really dodgy at the moment, but before that, it was literally timed to the day because of the apps. It's so weird.
Yeah. It's incredible. I just don't know how, literally, to the day, like, I'm surprised it wasn't to the hour, like, it was
That'd be
so
amazing.
accurate. I know it would, wouldn't
You
it?
could get a notification like
5-minute warning.
it's coming.
Yes,
So you're not
that
like
would be ideal.
at the gym or somewhere where you can't get to the loo straight away.
Yeah, a little bit of warning would be nice, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Well, the one that I wanted to share is my moon cup, because that has seriously changed my life. I'm sure you've heard about like menstrual cups.
Yeah. I would like to know more about them, to be honest, because I have a lot of people messaging saying, you know, would you like donations of menstrual cups? And that was kind of what prompted me to do the research into what the charities and food banks actually want in terms of products. And I think a lot of the people that they support either, you know, might not be too familiar with them or comfortable with them, or, you know, don't want them or don't have access to cleaning facilities.
Yeah, that's one thing I was thinking about when I was thinking about. Because
none of them replied saying yes to reusable, not one. And, you know, I completely understand why people would say, it, you know, it's better for the environment, you can reuse them, hence you're not needing them every month. But I think on a practical level, just based on kind of the niche kind of area that we donate to, none of them have said that's what they want. So we have donated them before, but I think in future we'll probably, you know, if somebody says they want them, of course we will, but just play it by ear, because I know some of the charities, I just feel like there's no point getting them if they're not going to get use out of them, because that could have been something that they would get use out of. But a lot of my friends have said really good things about the Moon Cup.
I love mine, and I think there's a huge like education in that area that needs to happen anyway, because like you say, they're only really like in the mainstream. I would never have heard a friend like using one 2 years ago, maybe even a year ago.
Yeah, I was gonna say only really the past year have I been like introduced to it.
So I think it's just it's a part of breaking the taboo anyway, because it's definitely more hands-on than using like a tampon or a pad. But yeah, I think it's just because a lot of women just don't know about them. So when you don't know how to use something or what it is, you tend to just like stick to what you know, which is which I totally understand, and I totally understand the sanitary issue, because you know you need to have access to like a sink and everything. But if you can use one, or you can give it a go, especially if you do struggle with tampons in terms of like the comfortable side of things, because I hate wearing tampons.
Really?
Yeah, I think they're horrible. I feel like I've got an actual piece of cardboard inside me.
Oh no, not the cardboard. It is, but it's like there's so many more kind of alternatives coming to light as well, and I think that's great. You know, it's good that people have choices and options, and I think, you know, at school when you learn about the different types of contraception, I think it should be a thing where you learn about the different types of sanitary products as well, and you know, get that kind of in there and give people a choice. But yeah, it is. I do think it's definitely a good thing that all these things are coming to light more and being talked about more and getting more in the mainstream. And after kind of, you know, doing the campaign and speaking about this kind of thing, I was surprised at how many of my friends actually do use a Moon Cup, because I hadn't really heard of it for that long, really. But I do think they're a much more like up and coming alternative.
Yeah, and I think it's one of them things that if you try it and you love it, like you tell everyone about it.
Yeah,
I definitely did. Like, I should have been on commission from Moon Cup in the UK, because I have converted so many friends to using one.
Send them this video and see if they
Yeah, I do love my Moon Cup. It's just so comfortable and it's so easy. It's just like pop it in and then you can forget about it all day.
Yeah,
you don't have to think about changing.
Not even have to think about it.
Yeah. So what else do you love? Like let's talk about the not so great side of periods. Like what do you have on hand when
Chocolate.
yeah.
Chocolate, lots of chocolate. Like chocolate.
Same.
Yeah. That's my saviour.
Yeah. And I was gonna say a hot water bottle as well.
Yeah, it was really
So
funny
good.
actually. One of the ladies did me a illustration of a period survival kit, and it had like a water bottle and different bits in. And somebody commented on it saying, "Where's a glass of wine?" And I thought, you know what, yeah. And it was just funny because you think I would think chocolate, whereas she's thinking glass of wine, and it's kind of funny to hear different people's like go-to.
No,
like
I feel like it's the time of the month to just indulge yourself and do
treat yourself.
Like do whatever is going to make you feel better, because sometimes you can feel like shit. You just like want to curl up in a ball and not leave the house. So if I have like a chocolate bar to look forward to at the end of the day, then that chocolate bar is going to get me through the day.
Yeah, me too.
Sad, but it's true.
Chocolate dotted around the room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. So moving on to the last section. This is like the quick fire round that I ask every guest that comes on the podcast. And the number one question, which we've already touched on, is what are your non-negotiable self-care rituals that you always go to when you need a bit of TLC? Whether you're on your period, whether you're tired, busy, stressed, or you've just had a long day and want to chill out.
Mine, apart from the ones I've already mentioned, is just a relaxing bath. Just love bath, and I sound like such a granny, but Coronation Street in the bath. And I'm happy. That's me. That's like downtime, me time, just having a soak, having a relax. I think it's important to make that time because when you're so busy, it's easy to just not have the me time and, you know, rush around. And I think taking that kind of hour out for yourself is really important.
Yeah, definitely. Do you like prop what do you watch Corrie on? Like your iPad or something?
My iPad, yeah.
Because I take my MacBook into the bathroom and prop it up like on the loo.
Oh, that's where I put my iPad.
Yeah. So it's like the perfect position when I'm lying in the bath to watch.
Yeah, it's good eye level.
I watch like Netflix or something.
Yeah.
That's my go-to as well. Love a good bath. What's challenging you to leave your comfort zone and grow recently? Whether that be like something personal or something with the monthly gift.
I think I've got a bit of it on both sides at the minute because I'm obviously work full time and the monthly gift is kind of a volunteer project, and because it's got so much it's been so well received, which is incredible, but trying to balance that and kind of work and juggle all the messages and that kind of thing, so that's kind of, but seeing the outcome at the end of it, like that's my motivation. Like at work, when you know your client's happy or you've helped them with whatever it is that comes to you about, and you know that they're happy, and then when you drop off the donations and the charity's like, thank you so much, and that just keeps me, that's my, you know, motivation, that I would not have it any, I mean it's hectic, but I wouldn't have it any other way. That those just like little moments are really special, and that's kind of my, what they call it, like the fire in your tummy.
Yeah, you've got, I feel like you've got to have that why behind what you're doing.
Oh yeah.
Because otherwise you just end up being complacent, and I think you're a prime example of someone who, like, you're clearly very, very busy, but you keep it all going because what you're doing is making such a huge positive impact.
Yeah, definitely. And I'm so lucky to have like the girls that have kind of helped me with it and joined the team. Now we've got a bit of a group together, and that's just going to make things, you know, even bigger and better. And I'm really kind of excited for that kind of, you know, the campaign is what it is now after, you know, a few years of just kind of doing it alongside work and studying and everything else, and to now have a team together that we're all working and studying and doing different things, but, you know, to see how it's come to today and to see where it could be with other people as well, that's kind of very exciting to keep me kind of going for the year.
Yeah,
Yeah.
awesome. With that being said, what are your 2018 goals for the monthly gift, or is it, I know you said you've got the International Women's Thing coming up, but is there anything else big that you can tell us about that you're really planning to do next year or this year by the time this podcast goes up?
Yes, but I can't tell you.
Yeah.
But there's something going on that it's been quite difficult to orchestrate, should we say. But there could be a big announcement, and I'm hoping to have it sorted before July, which will be the 3rd anniversary of the project. But I probably shouldn't have said that just in case it doesn't happen by then. But just keep an eye out around that time. There might be a little something for your ears.
Yeah, so something bigger is coming.
Yeah, but there's no way I can give you a hint without telling you exactly what it is. It's just I can't even give you a clue. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. It's exciting.
I'll blow the cover.
I'm really looking forward to seeing how the campaign grows. Considering how much impact you've had so far, it's only going to get bigger and better from here.
Yeah, I'm so excited.
So where can people go to follow the monthly gift?
So we're on Facebook, Instagram and Twitter, and it's at Monthly Gift MCR. Also, people are welcome to email me, which is themonthlygift@outlook.co.uk. Trying to think if we're in Oklahoma, that's our donation point is. We've also got a GoFundMe page which has links on all of social media. And if people are kind of beyond Manchester or are donating in Oklahoma, it's great to be tagged in pictures of the donations, because often we'll get these massive donations into Oklahoma and we'll have no idea who, where they've come from or who they are, and it's nice to be able to say thank you. So get on the social media and tag us in anything period related, any articles, anything that's kind of campaign related. Get in touch.
Amazing. Yeah, so anyone can get involved, anyone who's willing to get involved, every little helps. And people can email you if they want to set up fundraisers and collections within their workplace or
definitely.
Or whatever.
Yeah, or even if, for example, because I get a lot of inquiries from people away from Manchester, and I'll always say to them, there's no point, as much as we love the donations, posting to hear from, say, Birmingham. They might as well contact their local charity, do a collection at work and donate to their local charity and tell their friends to as well, and then we can have a wider impact kind of everywhere and everyone's helping their local community kind of thing. So people can get in touch, or if they just want to kind of do a period party or a fundraising event in their office, and contact a charity and just tag us in, just tag us on Facebook or Instagram or Twitter to say we've done this, thanks for the information, or whatever it might be. They don't have to come via us or to us, as long as they benefit somebody somewhere.
Yeah, amazing. It's just about raising awareness, isn't it? And smashing that period poverty taboo, because more people need to know about it. Mm-hmm. Thank you so much for talking to me. I'm really inspired by what you do, and I hope everyone else listening and watching is as well.
Thank you. Thank you for having me and for giving me an opportunity to spread the word. I do appreciate it.
You are welcome. And thanks for listening and watching, everyone. I'll see you soon. Bye.
Yeah.